Okay, here we are. We live. We chilling. Right now, tonight, you know what I mean? We're doing a lot of work, man. We're doing a lot of work. We turning it up, turning the pace up. Let everybody know this is what it is, man. It's a takeover. I'm trying to get all the brothers and sisters that got their podcast to turn it up and give you all the best content that they could give you because you deserve that. You know what I mean? Now, I'm going to sit here, and tonight we got my brother, you know what I mean? My family, you know what I mean? Mr. Ralph McDaniel. You know what I mean? Video music box himself, who's to come up to Cub 2000 and do what he do, you know? So I'm going to, bring Ralph in and, just ask the basic questions so y'all can check out and learn some more about Brother Ralph. What's up, Unc?
What's up, brother?
All right.
Hey, yo, you got the Yardie colors on the screen. I like that, bro.
You already know we got that, because we got the big green for the money. You know what I mean? You already know the blood that was spilled. You know what I'm saying? And now we need the goals back. We need our riches back. You know what I mean? So we minded for those colors. That's all they represent. The money. You know what I mean? The blood we spilled.
Yes, sir.
And the gold that we want back.
That's
what I mean? And that's it.
Right.
Yo, man, hey, you didn't even age, dog. You didn't even age, man.
Well, I had hair before. In the
so you know what I mean? Hey, and that's the first time I took it off on my live, and that was for you, family.
Thank you.
That was the first time, Hey, but man, looking at you, I want to go right into the questions, but I want the people to learn about you that don't know about you.
Yes,
you know
sir.
What I mean? So where you from originally?
Well, I was born in Brooklyn. I was born in Bed-Stuy, Hancock Street, in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. And then we moved to Queens. My parents moved to Queens. Mm-hmm. So I lived in Queens Village, Hollis area. And that's where, all of the music and all of that started to come into play at, Because in Queens you got a little basement, you got a little backyard, you can do all of that.
I just got a flashback. I used to come over there with the twins and Bibi and them back in the day, man.
Yeah, man.
I mean? With the twins, Black Just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Black Just, yeah. Then,
man.
Yeah. We all started out, doing sports and things like that, and then everybody went in their different ways,
Yeah, all right. And you did your way. Well, you ran right into it. So how old was you when you came up with the idea for Video Music Box?
I think I was thinking about it when I was like maybe 17 in high school, because I used to watch these shows on TV, like of course, Don Cornelius Soul Train, and Dick Clark, American Bandstand.
Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, and I used to be like amazed by, how he would have the artists on there and they'd be talking and then they would perform. I just loved the way that was going down, and then, I started listening to cats like Frankie Crocker on the radio. And I just knew that, like that was something I could do if I ever had the opportunity, so. And I was the kid like who had the boom box. I always had the boom box.
The big JVC with the two mics on it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
475 42nd Street.
Yeah, we're right. With all of them D batteries, right?
But yeah, that was 10 pounds.
Yeah, I was on the way to doing it. I just didn't know. I was doing it already in my own little way, on the bus in the back. I was a kid on the back of the bus driver, they turn it down, be like, yeah, whatever. And we just keep on. And I had all of the new stuff, so everybody wanted to listen to my tape,
There you go. So you used to get like the Grandmaster Flash, Funky Ford, Theodore. You know what I mean? You used to get those tapes over there in Queens because most of them cats was up in the Bronx doing it up.
Yeah. Now we had, like I tell people, I come from before hip hop. I come from it was still disco when we first started out.
Exactly. Donna Summers.
Right.
You
all of that was there, and then all that hip hop did was just took from that and made it into their own little thing. And cut it up.
Okay. All right. So we got some youth on here, so we're gonna bring it back because you're giving it right. So we're gonna give it so they understand. So now, what year was the disco, like with Donna Summers, the Bee Gees, Saturday Night Fever? I know what you're talking about because I'm an old man, even though I look young and handsome like you still. Still old young dudes that know the history. So where we at?
Yeah, that was like 75, 76. By 77, you know, it was at the height of it, but that was also when hip hop DJs were really starting to come into their own, you know. Like people talk about, oh, they did hip hop in 72. I was like, you wasn't doing hip hop in 72.
Thank you. The Jamaicans was doing it with the dub plates and playing their music.
Right.
That's where it started. Let's keep it 100. You know what I mean?
Right.
The Jamaicans used to scratch the records first, and then that's where Kool Herc and Bambaataa and Theodore and everybody else popped off with it. I was right there, baby. See the park.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Turn the lights out, plug the joint in, and do what we do. You know what I mean? Everybody got a big Magnum from Brooklyn like this, where the camera at. You know what I mean? And in the Bronx, they had the automatic 9 millimeters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Keeping it 100. Females had the little pearl handle 25. But go on, babe. I just want them to know what the streets was like.
Yeah, and you're right. You know, like if you had equipment and you was going out there in them streets, you know, the first cats that might catch you out there because they knew the value of it was the Jamaican cats. They would take your joints.
Yo, give me one of the stories, son. That you heard about.
I'll tell you a story like this, right? I remember this one must have been like maybe 73, 74. And this the a dread comes through the block. He's walking through the block, right? And you know, when Jamaican first come here to this country, they was just like, you know, they had their own style. They was their own person. We were like, who is this guy? He seemed so arrogant. You know, he was coming through the block. And I was like, man, who is this cat? And so, you know, we were saying something to him like, oh, yo, who are you? Who are you? Yelling at him in the street, you know. And he was walking down the middle of the street. I remember it clearly. And we kept on talking. We was kids, you know, like teenagers, 13, 14, whatever. And he turned around and he busted a shot off in the air and we all ran. And I can remember saying to myself, yo, them Jamaican dudes is crazy, man.
Hey, and that's what KRS wanted about when he said the dreads in Brooklyn are crazy.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, you know, that was the good old days back then. That's when I was a little boy working in the herb gates. I was carrying the pistols for them. You know what I mean? They had me carrying them to get them in the little love, peeing on the little clubs and all that, the little bars, put them in the window. Ecstasy Garage, T Connection,
yes, sir.
Fever, you know what I mean? Stardust Ballroom. I name names so they know it's official.
Yeah,
you know,
all of those spots was, you know, was official, you know. And the thing that I liked about it is like I was into the music, so I used to watch because the Jamaican cats would make their own speakers.
Ooh, you know? The amps too now.
And the amps too. Yeah,
let them know.
I was like a tech kind of dude before, you know, they said before the word tech, you know. So I was into that, and I used to just wonder, how did they know what equipment? What did they know? How did they know what to buy? All of that stuff. I used to pay attention to them, you know, really closely. Yeah. And listen, you know, and I learned about sound from hanging around Jamaican cats around my way.
Okay, there you go. You know what I mean? Jamaica played a big part. One thing I'm gonna say, and it's not just because I'm Jamaican, but one thing I'm gonna say is that for a fact, Jamaica, as small as the island is, that's the one race or culture of people that's known worldwide. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Bob Marley had a lot to do with that, and the street business had a lot to do with that. You know what I mean? I'm talking about, you know, the names that traveled, that did things. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to get into all that. Y'all know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you know, it is what it is, man. But what did it feel like going in a party back then?
Parties was dark. That's what it was dark.
For real, right? That's it. They had all the lights and all the glitter.
Yeah, all that wasn't happening. It was dark, and you know, every once in a while, it wasn't until I started doing video music box, it started lighting up the club, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, back in the disco days, you know, was you seen Saturday Night Live and all of that. It was all the lights and all that kind of thing. And one of the people that I started doing parties for was Russell Simmons. Yeah. So Russell was a promoter. He lived not too far from me, and Russell was crazy, you know, back then. That's when Russell was, you know, a dust head. You know, he was everybody was back then was smoking dust, and people would be like, this guy is crazy, man. How is he doing these parties? How is he making all this thing happen? And you know, and if you do a party for Russell, you might not get paid, but it was worth it because Russell's parties were hot. And Russell was the first guy who showed me and many others from Queens how to market, you know, because he had stickers and he put them stickers everywhere. Everywhere you went, you saw Rush. And you'd be like, damn, Russ was here. And that made you feel like you could go there if Rush was there. and that was how Russell showed us how to market and promote ourselves and and brand ourselves. They call it branding now, but he was doing that before they called it that. He was a different cat.
Yeah, definitely. You know what I mean? Definitely. Hey, I remember the first time I seen Crush Groove. Remember Crush Groove?
Yeah.
First came out with him and running all of them.
Yeah.
LL Cool J.
Yeah.
I have a picture with my son, my second oldest son, Wayne, when he was like maybe 5-6 months, and I took him to the movie theater, and they had the little balcony, and I'm up in the balcony, and the music was bumping. LL came in. That was like the first hip hop musical. What I mean? Right.
That meant a lot. That meant a lot for hip hop, because people didn't see like those type of movies. We saw, we enjoyed like, Shaft and Foxy Brown and that kind of vibe when we was coming up. But then there was a little time where there was really nothing for us. And then when the hip hop came,
you know what I mean? I'm gonna take you back before we jump into the hip hop. Before Shaft and all that came, I used to watch my grandma. I don't know if I was Jamaican. We used to watch old England movies or what, but we used to watch Elvis Presley, man. That was our entertainment dance movie. Remember Elvis?
Yeah.
Elvis had Jailhouse Rock and all these old shows when Dick Clark and all that was jumping. You know what I mean? Yeah, he was stealing the black people's music and all that. We understand. But he had them shows where he up there twisting his hips when they was protesting because he was twisting his hips. You know what I'm saying? And then John Travolta came in with that with the Saturday Night Live. They tried to make John Travolta to look like, Elvis Presley. And that's
we used to watch a lot of things when we was younger that was, really, really some fucked up shit. Like you think about the Little Rascals,
man,
and they was treating black people bad as hell in there, man.
Shirley Temple,
right? When you go back and look at it now, it was fun to us when we was kids, but they really treated black people real bad, man.
Nobody know exactly where you're going with it. But now you say that, man, actually this, I'm gonna bounce around. I'm gonna keep it up in modern time. Who inspired you? Who were some of your mentors? I mean, like I said, we going all day with all them DJs that was fantastic back in those days.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, one of the first DJs I ever saw play was a guy named Grandmaster Flowers. And he played at Reese Beach. And they used to have, like, how they have the Rucker, they had a tournament at Reese Beach. And they had and like NBA players would come, and local cats from Brooklyn like Fly Williams and Connie Hawkins and cats like that. And he was the DJ, and he had his equipment set up, and I was mesmerized by that. Like I just stood there and watched him all day. Like everything he did. That's when they used to cover the records up so you couldn't see the name of the record. And he played, and I'm looking. I'm trying to find that record, man, whenever I can. And so he was the first to kind of show the way, and then I'm trying to think of other people that I mean, look, I really felt like I was great as a DJ. I was like I had a monster following whenever I did a party.
What was your crew?
We wasn't no crew. It was just Ralph McDaniels, and that people knew in Queens that when I showed up, it was gonna be popping.
Okay. So you the big star Tyler Love Bug of our era.
People don't, like a lot of times people from that era that came up with me in that late 70s go, yo, you should have never stopped DJing. I said, well, I really didn't. I just started doing other things. I had to,
what I mean? Involved in the better things.
Yeah, because that's when I started going to school. I went to college, and I got the thing with the TV thing. And that's when I got the bug to do the TV thing. And one day I got a camera, and I said, man, this is
yeah, okay.
And so from there, once I got that camera in my hand, people was like, oh wow, you had some clout, because all of a sudden, you were shooting something, and then you had it on TV, and people were like, yo, you could do that at my party? And I'm like, yeah, I could do that. And we start showing up at different parties and stuff and shooting things. And then, nobody had that before. It wasn't like it existed, and we changed the game with the whole shout outs and all of that, doing the shout outs. Nobody was doing that, like you didn't hear nobody saying, yo, give me a shout out and all of that. That was something that we turned into a regular thing.
What year was that?
That was 83.
Okay.
83 is when we started Video Music Box. Like I said, it jumped off in 83. Those early years, as the streets are changing as well. You know, so we going from in Queens where I used to DJ in a spot called Encore in Queens.
I remember Encore, yeah.
Yeah. So Eddie Murphy would be in there because Eddie Murphy's from Long Island. Of course, Cat, Supreme, all of them dudes was coming in there. They were younger then. And that was the change of the guards. That was, you know, as far as the street was concerned, that was from going from dope and powder to crack.
The crack. There you go. Now you're talking. That's where the animals come out at.
Exactly.
That's what created the animals.
Yes, that brings out the animals.
Yeah.
And
I will get into that because I want them to understand that back in the days before 93, when he's talking about right there where the crack came in, when it was powder cocaine and heroin, where they were speedballing or they were sniffing or they were shooting or whatever. But if you were sniffing coke back then or you were smoking coke back then, you considered it as the man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Talking about disco fever, because a lot of them know disco fever. They hear about the Fat Cat. We had the smoking room in the back where everybody used to go right back there and smoke the crack. Where they gave out the crack pipes and everything.
Yeah.
You know
that disco fever, that back room was a mess.
You know what I mean? Okay, so now, give us one of your disco fever stories. Like the first time you seen the stars. I'm gonna give you one first, so you could go first. Give me one.
All right, so I go to the disco fever. Russell wanted me to ride him up there one night. I said I'm not going with Russell. So my man Davey D, he made a record. Davey D and Mecca. Davey D, right? Davey D lives like not too far from me. Dave goes, I'm going to the fever. I said, all right, I'll go with you. I'll go with Dave. And so we go to the fever. Everybody's in there. This is the first time I ever seen Mr. Magic. This is the first time I ever seen Curtis. No, this is not the first time I see Curtis Blow, but you know, all these people are there and the place is packed, it's popping. So after a while, it's like 2 a.m. You know, I'm going back to Queens. I'm trying to make sure I got a ride. I'm not trying to be on a train in the Bronx, you know, like
you know what I mean?
I go, I'm looking for Dave. I go in the back and open the door. And I'm gonna put it like this: it was the slopes. That's all you seen was the slopes, and back there tables. It was the slopes.
You know,
and everybody back there, and I felt like I violated and shit when I walked back there. You know, I was like, oh my bad. Everybody turned around and looked at me like
he was out of place.
Yeah, they looked at me like, nigga, what the fuck? Close that goddamn door.
You know what I mean?
But that was the fever, man.
But I just want them to understand that freebasing was, you know, like smoking good weed nowadays today, like smoking chronic. Yes. You know what I mean? You're the man if you was doing that, because everybody wasn't doing it, and it wasn't even a handful that was doing it. You had to be elite and into something to even know about that. Because back then,
I see somebody put. I thought that was, and back then it was freebase, and that before it was crack. Yeah,
exactly. That's what I want them to understand.
Yeah,
you know, because my book of Ruin Harlem, I take them from the 70s. Into the 80s, into boom. So I started off, you know, when I was dealing with the in my book of Ruin Harlem, I started off where I was dealing with the weed. You know what I mean? Remember when in Jamaica we first came up in the early 70s, like we talking about 73, 74, all them times. You know what I mean? When it was weed. You know what I mean? All my family members, you know what I mean, that I grew up with in Jamaica, that they live in, you know, in Brooklyn and all over. And when we go visit them and we hit the streets, that's what they're into, even though I'm coming out the suburbs. So you know how I got my first glimpse into the criminal world. But go ahead, Big Ralph, it's you.
Well, that's the thing too, is that people, most of the weed spots in Brooklyn, because I lived in Crown Heights. I had moved to Crown Heights. I don't know, I must have been like 20 years old. And I moved to Crown Heights, and all of the weed spots there became crack spots.
Exactly.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Overnight. Like,
you know what I mean? A changeover. You know?
Yeah. And that's when I tell people, the first people I ever seen sell crack was Jamaicans. I didn't see it like, you know, because I was in Brooklyn at the time. So there was like, you know, little holes you just walk up to and people would be standing next to it. Or, you know, you go to, there were certain blocks that were just, you know, that was what was going on there, you know, in Flatbush, in Crown Heights, in Bed-Stuy, you know, it was
the posses moving, you know what I mean? It was coming up from Jamaica, so it was easy for us to get it because they already had it from there. Boom, came up through here. You know what I mean?
You understood the science of moving it, right? Yeah.
You know,
you could tell, you know, because it was something that, you know, it was different, you know, and so once that happened, you know, the whole neighborhood changed. Everything changed. Everything changed, you know. And like you said, that brought out the wolves because it was a young man's thing after a while. Then the Americans, African Americans were young dudes that were into it, you know, and you know, it was just a different breed of cats, you know, buying the bottles, buying all the bottles. You know, that's where that started, you know. It was a different energy, and that chased away some of the old timers. They didn't want to. They went back.
Put them all the way.
Yeah, they got in the way, and it didn't work out.
You know what I mean?
Didn't work out. I've seen a lot of people go in that time, because they didn't know what to do.
You see what I'm saying? Because when it crossed over in the crack, like he said, it brought the wolves out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So if you ain't gonna kill nothing, get out the way. Like get out the way, trick, move, boom. You know all them records they making nowadays. That's how life was on the streets. That's why I try to explain to him that I survived. I screwed up. I poisoned the community. You know what I mean? I did all that, but at the time, you know, we didn't know. But Ralph, you know, they put it out there like that, and you got a chance to make that kind of money. You know, ain't too many people walking away from that, dog. Keep it walking.
Yeah, so it was. I tell people, you were in a war and you didn't even know it.
Thank you. You know,
you didn't know it. You know, you were either, you know, you were right in the middle of it. Some people were selling it, some people were buying it, and then there was just the people in between. And and you didn't know that was by design. You know, that was dropped in there for you. You didn't know. You had no idea. You were in a war, walking down the street with no armor on. You know, and you didn't know. And it was just a matter of time before, you know, it collapsed on people. But you know, look, I'm glad that there are brothers that I know that are still here, and you know, smart brothers, you know, like yourself. You know, when I met you, I thought you were from Brooklyn. You are from Brooklyn, but it just I couldn't connect it. You know, like for people in the city, in the 5 boroughs, we always look at somebody and go, "Where's that person from?" Before
you couldn't put me nowhere because I was unique. You know what I mean? Keep it real, son. I was unique. You know what I mean?
Right. I was like, he feels like Brooklyn, but we by the Polo Grounds. So I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean,
but you were one thing I always admired about you is that you were straight up. You know, the first thing you told me is, "Yo, Ralph, I'm not one of these industry dudes. I don't play that industry shit." You must have told me that shit 10 times. And the reason why you probably told me because I work in the industry. So don't get it twisted. I'm not like these dudes.
Please.
And I was like, okay. And you kept telling me that. And I was like, okay. I said, and to myself, I was like, do I come off like that? You know, like, but, you know, I've always been, because of my DJ career, been connected to the streets. Not in a way where I was part of anything, you know, but grew up with guys that, you know, were part of, you know, the scene or was around it, never in it, because that was never my thing. I was a square. I was into the music. I would have never survived in that space. But I respected it and I understood my boundaries, you know, to how far I could go, you know, and I knew that this is what it is. And so whatever this man is telling me, meaning you, Unique, I got it. You know, I understand it. I got it. This is what you do. This is what I need, Ralph. And this is what I'm trying to create, you know, what you already are creating. And we just want to take it now to your TV platform. And I said, okay, no problem. And that was it, you know, and you were a man of your word. And that was, you know, especially for people in the industry. And that's why you said what you said about, you know, you're not that with that industry shit. You know, it was all bullshit. You know, people could say whatever. You were like, nah, I said, look, man, I like walking down the block and being able to people to say, hey, yo, what up, Ralph? And I'm good. And I want to be like that way with you, Unique. So whatever you tell me, I believe, and I'm going to tell you the truth. So I hope you believe what I say. And that's it, you know. And that's how our relationship started, I think, you know. And I remember meeting your mom and you know, good people. You know, I felt like I said, I felt like I was in Brooklyn, but we were in Harlem. Because at that time I lived in Brooklyn. I lived in Flatbush. And you know, it was good. It was great to see you, a black promoter, like I don't know what else you did. I just know the promoter
part. You weren't supposed to know because I wasn't on the street corner no more. At that time, I'm doing me. I'm putting 25 a day. I'm moving. You know what I mean? Not bragging. I'm just letting them know the facts. Telling the story.
Nah, because you could tell, by the amount of the army that you moved with. Like when you said you were gonna, like the first party that we did, it was an army, and it was people from different places. Like this one from this area, and you would just say blocks or say names, and a whole section would go. So I was like, this ain't just from the polo grounds. Like, this ain't from the polo grounds at all, really.
Those are all the places I supplied.
Right.
Everybody happy when I speak because everybody eat.
Yes, and the thing was that I always remembered was you could only drink Hennessy and maybe more liquor, 40, if I'm not mistaken. But the only two things you could get in Club 2000 in the beginning. Like later on, you opened it up because the girls wanted to have their little drinks and things. But in the beginning, you just was dealing with Hennessy. That was to me, because this is before Hennessy's like a household name like that. You might have made Hennessy a household name. Nas needs to get you in one of them commercials.
Well, I'm gonna sit down with all of them, son. I'm back now, so that's why I got you telling them my history.
Yeah,
you understand? You know my history, so I don't need to tell it. You tell it.
Yeah,
you're respectable. You Uncle Ralph.
Yeah, and that was it. Like nobody needed nothing else. They had their Hennessy, they had their weed, they had their friends, and it was a family. Everybody was
everybody.
Everybody knew each other, or even if you didn't know each other, you respected each other because you were invited. You were invited.
And that's one thing I always said, man. And I respect everybody, and I'm thanking them now, 27 years later. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody knew to leave their dramas outside my door. You understand what I'm saying? Don't bring your drama in Club 2000 or Mecca Audio. Whoever you beefing with over whatever block, work it out away from my block.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because this is where family come. And all family don't agree all the time. You understand what I'm saying? Right.
I remember, you know what? You just reminded me. Now, mind you, for people that I'm sure they know, but Club 2000 is in Washington Heights.
Mm-hmm.
So Washington Heights is notorious, like, in the early 80s, or, you pull up to the block and like 20 Colombians will run up to, or, Dominicans will run up to you. Was it Dominicans or Colombians?
It was Dominicans.
Oh, okay.
Another joint. The Colombians was getting it to them, but it was the Dominicans.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they would just run up to your car at broad daylight. It was just open game, like it was like you was buying socks from the And so, you'd be like, yo, wow, this is crazy how the block was. So when you opened up on that side, there was no black people on that side. So first of all, in my head, I'm going, what is he doing on that side? Because we don't go on that side.
I go where my money and my pistol take me, man. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. That was a big change for a lot of people. They didn't go on that side.
Mm-hmm.
So the Broadway, you on that side, you walking up, boom, and it's us. It's all us inside. Oh, okay. We good. We know everybody. Okay, we good.
You know what I mean? It's family.
Yeah.
The Dominicans, we party with them too. We love them. They love us. When I came up there, I let them know, man, all this separation, all that going on. I'm up here. Y'all welcome me up here. My people welcome up here. You know what I mean? I'm putting my money in. I'm paying for this, and this is what I'm paying for, and this is what I want. Either that or y'all go find somebody else. You know what I mean?
What was it called before that again?
Fuego.
Right. Fuego.
And that's when I told no, we ain't gonna have my people talk about they going to Fuego. They going up to Club 2000.
Right.
So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Popping, pimping, all that. You know what I mean? And put it on the map. Fuego was the biggest Dominican club. Bop, much shout out. I used to go up there and pop bottles up there. You know what I mean? Where it wasn't no black person up there. You know what I mean? Big shout out to the Jerry Curl boys. I know y'all remember them. You know what I mean? You know, they know where I'm talking about, Washington Heights. You know what I mean? But, those were the chocolates, Big Felipe, to call out the dark ones, Dalilo. You know what I'm saying? I call out Felix, Allen. You know what I mean? I could call out all the dark ones all day. You know what I mean? Come on, dog. You know what I mean?
And that was unique, and that was different because hip hop really never had a spot. We didn't have, it wasn't like the tunnel came. You know, that was cool. But this is before the tunnel. You know, that was like, oh man, you know, this is something that we can go to on a regular basis and hang out and not have to deal with downtown. You know, it was up in where, you know, you weren't too far away from where you grew up at, you know. And even still, you know, people from Brooklyn was in there, Queens was in there.
Everywhere, everybody welcome. I don't play that. Like I said, I sold all over.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, everybody was in there, man.
Shout out to Chances in Queens.
Yes.
You know what I mean? All the big homies out there.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I ain't gotta go no further.
That was the key. You know, yes.
You know,
I remember
I'm saying these are my personal friends I'm calling. That don't even remember me. So many I ran past that don't even remember me. Probably say, oh, he lied. But like I said, I got reputable people. I got Baby Wise, you know what I mean? I got reputable people out there.
Yes,
you know what I mean? They know because they all came over as Queen. Jesus, you know what I mean? Come on, dog. You know what I mean? Big D, you know what I mean? But you know how it is, man. You know, I just want them to know that everything was real. You know?
No, for sure. No, everything was real.
When you heard about Club 2000 before you came up there and met me, what do you remember about that? What was the picture they painted that you was going to walk into?
That it wasn't really comfortable for us. I thought it was just really, I didn't know. I thought it was just for, you know, the uptown Dominican crowd, you know. That's what I thought, you know.
Because of the geographical location, but go ahead. That's
it was just something I thought in my head because
that's what it normally was supposed to be without me.
Right. Yeah, you know, and that was cool. I didn't have no problem in going there, but when I came in and you know, you was like Mecca what? And you know, and all of that, I was like, whoa, this is not what I thought it was gonna
be. Mecca what? Mecca audio, you know how we do, son. You know, we toss it up, man. The whole joint, man. Yo, the whole city, all the boroughs up and down the East Coast, everybody mess with us, man. When I go down to DC, I was in Southeast over there hustling. We went over there to Simple City, went over there to Eastgate, you know what I mean? Come on, dog. I mean, you know, we got Crystals. You know what I'm saying? I mean, with the go-go, you remember the go-go, dog?
Yeah.
I used to go down there to go to Marlboro Pike, right there to Iverson Mall, jump by my little go-go tapes.
Yeah.
That's the only place you're gonna get them because nowhere in New York had them, nowhere even New York.
Nah, that go-go rings off as soon as you hit that area, man.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know how it never took off because it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's really soul music that's unique to DC. You know, the only closest thing you can find is maybe like bounce music in Houston that sounds kind of like New Orleans, Houston sound. But it's really African music and it's really part of our culture, you know, that sound. And like you said, you know, like, you know, I don't know why, you know, I mean, you had, you know, quite obviously the butt that did, you know, cool, but that wasn't really even go-go, you know. That was a commercial version of it. But hip hop used go-go in the beginning, you know, Curtis Blow used it and Salt and Pepper used it a lot, you know. And you know, I was thinking when I left one night, I left Club 2000 and me and my partner Beast, we was in the car and we driving over to the west side to take the West Side Highway downtown, going back to Brooklyn. And so all of a sudden it's like all these flashing lights behind me, right? But it don't look legit. Like I feel like somebody about to try and get me, you know. So I'm not stopping, you know. And I see the flashing lights, and I'm looking, and so I'm saying, well, suppose it is police. So I said, yo, Beast, you straight? He was like, nope. I said, okay. I said, well, look, make a move right now, do whatever we're gonna do, but they're gonna pull up. I feel like this is the police, so I think we should pull over, and you know, before we have a problem. So he put his thing, you know, under his seat, and you know, he just because there wasn't nowhere else to put it, and I got out. I pulled up because I'm trying to be Ralph McDaniel. Because I'm Ralph McDaniel. I'm video music box. I'm gonna jump out first, and they're gonna be like, "Yo, this is Ralph McDaniels." You know, I jump out. These white boys don't know me from a can of paint. They don't know me from nothing. So I'm like this, like, damn, get in the back. So, and I'm talking to, I'm like, nah, we was just shooting, you know, video. We know we making a video over here at this place, Club 2000. Yeah, well, we understand you guys have guns in the car. Nah, we were just making videos. We make videos. We do videos for, I'm naming names. I'm doing this. I do that. You don't know me, Ralph McDaniel from videos. So one Spanish guy in the back goes, oh, okay. I knew that voice from somewhere.
Get out of here.
So he's like, nah, that's not who we looking for. That's not who we looking for. So they all turned around and said, all right, you have a good night. So I was like, Jesus Christ. Because they had the doors open. They about to go in the car. So I was like, please don't go in that car right now.
Yeah.
But I'm talking. I'm like,
going under the seat.
I'm calling every hip hop name I can call.
Even names that ain't even born yet. Some like little babies. You know what I mean? Future.
Right. But you know, this was the era of the time. You know, it was we were very creative in things that we did. We started things. The 90s, you know, were things that we started are still, you know, legendary to this day. So from the clubs to the dress to the music, and you know, Club 2000 was up. When I look back at it and I see Andre Harrell in there, and I see, you know, I remember the time you wanted to get Luke, and Luke dancers came, and Yo, people from the West Coast, they would come, you know.
Luke, Dre, you know what I mean?
Yeah. People that you wouldn't see in downtown clubs, they was coming to Club 2000.
All right, let them know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. You know, you'd be like, man, how did they even know about this right here? But they came and they showed up and they had a great time. You could tell like they felt like it was like they was in Inglewood or they was in, you know, in Compton. You know, it was the same vibe, you know, because if you ever went to clubs in LA, you know, not the cool clubs, I'm talking about like, you know, for the hood, you know, that's where Club 2000 was, you know, because you had everybody in there all in one spot, you know, the hustlers, the prostitutes, where everybody was in the place. They was there, they was taking a break from doing what they was doing, and they came there to party and have a good time. They didn't come there to sell nothing. They came there to just party and enjoy themselves. That was their break. That was their party from doing whatever they do. So, you know, I look back now, you know, and I've been finding some of the old tapes and, you know, and looking at it, and I'm like, man, Unique, you know, he did an incredible job when he put all of these people together in one spot to enjoy themselves. And at the same time, we have it documented here now with all of these tapes and all of these people that were at Club 2000, because it was a unique experience. It wasn't downtown. It wasn't 34th Street. It wasn't 96th Street. It was uptown, and it was done in a unique way, which is the way Unique wanted to run it. You know, he would stop the music and everything and say, look, cut the bullshit. Let's get back to the party. And that's it. And then, you know, and ayo, and the whole room would go, all right. And that's where it all started.
You know what I mean? Let them know. You know what I mean? Tell them, hey, yo.
Yeah.
All right.
You made that worldwide. You know, I've heard people say that. I could say that in Brazil, and people will respond, all right.
You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to Dougie Fresh. You know what I mean? He helped keep it alive while I was buried alive. And
Doug kept it live. I spoke to Doug today, you know, and you know, Doug is heavily on the taking care of your body. He always been like that.
Yeah.
And you know, so he's concerned, and you know, about, you know, everything that's going on right now, and people to make sure they take care of themselves, man. Take care of your body, you know, and you know, do the right thing.
But see, you know, that's another thing. I ain't gonna get into the ugly side of it, but you know, I've set out there to let it be known about the situation with the hip hop parade, you know, being started up there in Club 2000.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? So that you know, they know, you know, that's where it came out of. You know what I mean? You know the history. So break that down, what you know, without getting into the ugly side.
Well, you know, a lot of the not a lot, but those two, the AOI and Hip Hop Array, was something that started in Club 2000. You were on the mic. You were like, you know, you were like Barry White. You were orchestrating everything. You know, you were calling the shots. You know, the audibles out there. You know, and you would get on at certain times. Like I said earlier, you would cut the mic off, cut the music off. Could be Kid Capri playing. Could be SNS. Could be Red Alert. Whoever was DJing, cut the music off. And everybody would look at, here go Unique. What he about to do? Party's jamming, rocking, crazy. Yo, cut the music off. Because you wanted to make a point, and you knew it was the right time to do it because you was checking the vibe of the room, and then you would get your thing, and you would be branding your thing, and you would make sure that your people felt special, your personal people felt special.
All the time. Big shout out to Todd DL, Shaw Boogie, the whole crew.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? EJ, man, dude, I go on all day. Stick him up, Charlie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? EJ, the Paul. Go ahead, big boy. I ain't gonna say all names all day.
But you know, but that was you know, like because there was really no VIP. You know, VIP was
everybody was VIP in my joint. Everybody was VIP.
Right.
Everybody special.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nobody felt unspecial in that joint, even the females.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, whoever was spending the most money was VIP.
Tell me that. You know what I mean? That's that green in that street chronicles, baby. Get the money. You know, but go ahead, finish the story, big bro. Let them know.
Yeah, and so all of these things were going on, and people took things that they learned in Club 2000 and went out with it, you know. And I remember, you know, when Doug made the record, and you were tight, and you called me, and you were tight.
Extremely tight,
yeah. And I said to you, I remember exactly what I said. I said, yo, Unique, this is a brother that you know. Suppose it was somebody that you didn't know. I think it would be worse. So I think y'all should work it out. And you were like, man, but that's this. I don't remember exactly what you said.
You know me, I'm on some. He took that from me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like somebody taking a kilo from me.
Yeah, I said, look, it could have been. Look, black people get robbed all the time for our culture,
but not me. Okay, them. But what I told you when I first met you, this is where that come in.
Yeah. I'm not with that industry shit. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you take my shit, I'm gonna bring it to the street.
Yeah.
I'm not going to no court. I'm not going to none of that. I'm bringing it to the street.
Yeah. And it got heated. I'm not gonna get into details, but you know, people who know. And so
we got families.
Yeah.
Like you said, we worked it out amicable as men. That's why I said, you know, I'm gonna holler at Trex, because I mean, he's a good dude. You know, he held it down.
Yes, sir.
He held it down. We all family. We all in here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, his kids 8, and I want to feed my grandkids.
That's right.
They can't knock me for that.
That's right.
Family.
Yeah, nah. You right. You absolutely right. But I remember because y'all both was my peoples. You know, everybody was my peoples. So I was like, you know, I'm trying to be, you know, like, hold up, wait, stop.
You already know.
And I'm glad that it did work out, because it showed that we could do that. You know, because people, that's another lesson to be learned. You know, that you can work it out as men, and you sit down and you have a conversation, and that's what was going on. It didn't have to be any more than that. You worked it out as men, and that was super important for the streets to see that, as well as the industry cats, because industry cats will do that, you know. And I don't think it was done maliciously. I think it was just done. It came organically. It just happened. But I think in the case of others, they just come in and just take what you got and just think they can get away with that, and that's where that industry bullshit comes in at. And you can't do that. I see people do it now, and I'll be like, wow, like that's a regular thing, you know. And like now, like, you know, somebody makes a record, and then that record, somebody else makes a record next week, and it sounds just like that same record, but it just changed the words a little bit. And I'm like, we didn't do that back then. Like, when did that become a okay thing to do? Like, where you could just take a man's style and sound or style. Like, even if I see you walking down the street, Unique, and I like that hat you got, I'm not gonna buy that same hat. I can't. Yeah.
Now it's called branding in 2020. Because I want everybody to look like Unique long they spend the money at MeccaAudioEntertainment.com getting their merch. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
You know, but like you say, you know, I just want them to understand that it wasn't no blueprint. You know, I get up here and I talk that shit. They say, he cocky, he this and he that. No, I am that man. You understand? You know, when I move, everybody move. When I move, they want to move like I move. When I start off walking with the left foot, the crowd move with the left foot. When I start off with the right foot, they move with the right foot. I lead the dance.
Yeah, no, for sure. If you was in, you know, I guess one day you'll put the tapes out and you'll see it. You know, like Unique was, you know, he was running the place, and that's how good parties used to be. Like, if you knew, like, the music is not going right, it's going a little bit too left this way, change the music up. Change the sound up. Change it back to this. Girls like this. You know what the women like. Women like this. Play that. And then okay, all right, boom. And Kid Capri and Red and SNS and whoever would switch it over and they would start boom. And then you'd be like, see, they like it. And then you get on the mic. Then you happy, you get on the mic.
Yo, you give me a mad flashback, and you know I get on the mic 20, 30 minutes, I get too happy. You know what I mean? Everybody, man, you need to get off the mic. But they know they're just having fun, man. They know when you be getting the zone, get a little drink on, I'm gonna do me. And then everybody else vibe off of me because, you know, like I said, I'm the leader, I'm the dancer, I'm the instructor. You know what I mean? And that's how I move. And everybody was loved. They came to have fun with me. So I had to, you know, go ahead, bro.
No, and you set the tone, but people came in, like I remember Yo-Yo was there.
Oh yeah.
And Yo-Yo loved, you could tell she felt like, what? I'm in heaven right now.
She stayed in the hallway, like just enjoying us. Remember we took all the pictures in the hallway?
Yeah.
From the 57 to 58th Street.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. So that was, you know, that was, you know, you didn't see a lot of clubs like that. And we missed those times, you know, because after a while, the clubs became, you know, run by, you know, like corporations almost, you know.
So I ain't been in one yet in 20-something years, so I don't know.
Yeah, but that's what happened. You know, after a while, it became like a you know, when they started putting bottle service in the game and all of these different things, that they changed the club game up. So independent promoters like yourself and me and people that were doing things were, you know, we couldn't do it anymore. And or you could, but you just couldn't do it at the big scale. They didn't want to see you getting that 30,000 walking out the door, because those are the type of money. If you had a good party, you easily could walk out of there with, and I'm not even the owner, you was getting the liquor too. So I could get off the door, I could walk out with 30,000. People won't even know.
Yeah. I'm getting $100 at the door.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For boots, 200. You know what I mean? I charge some 300 and 500 to get in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they happily paid. But my thing is, let me explain that, because I want you to do the talking. I'm gonna get them one. My motto is, I'm getting money, man. You know what I mean? I'm touching millions. I'm doing great. Everybody else doing great. You understand what I'm saying? I give away $100. If I drop $100, it'll cost me too much to bend over to pick it up. I'm gonna keep going. Whoever is with me in the crowd want to pick it up, and it's theirs. And I'm keeping it moving. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, you know. So when I go in the joint, man, I mean, you know, I'm just gonna do me. You know what I'm saying? So you got guys coming with sneakers, boots, shoes, and y'all getting all this money. Nah, dog, yo, all that, dude, you just bought 25 joints for me. Right. Give me 500, man. Right. Now you got your boots on, give me 500.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that was nothing. And you know it was nothing.
10 keys from him, and you can't give me 500. Matter of fact, give me a G now. Now you playing. I gotta get my son something tomorrow. Give me a G. You trying to play me, man? All that money you making, you acting like you one of these dudes want to pay $100. Come on, you ain't no corner. You know what I'm saying? And you know that's the way I run it. But when I get at the door and I see them, I might let a bunch of their homies in that I know don't have it. Yeah. But I know they got it. So if you got it, be glad to bless me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But a lot of you that you got it just.
Yeah, once they got in there, they was happy. You know, they knew you was they did the right
all
thing.
The time. Take them right to the bar. Get that Henny, get this bottle. You know, I don't treat them. A lot of people, the bottles, that wasn't nothing. I was just doing it to have someplace for us to go and have fun. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's why it just turned out to be a big money maker. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I knew it was gonna make money. Like I didn't know I was gonna get a life sentence for it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it is what it is. So I mean, the good came with the bad. So that's why when hard times came, I had to ride with it, because I got caught, and that was my operation. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. I went down, you know.
Like everything stopped, you know, in that side right after that. You know, a new generation came, a younger generation came, and they started their own thing. But as far as when you stopped, that generation just went off to the smaller bars and things like that, and went to their thing.
They got
right, exactly. Yeah, they go, you know. Then a new generation came and they started their own thing after that, you know. But, you know, for people that, you know, are part of that, there's a lot of lessons to be learned, how we as people were together, you know, and we did it together. And we don't do a lot of that as often as we should. I think the young people now want to do that, and they work together and they do a lot of things together. I think we don't get out and socialize as much. Well, we definitely can't now because of COVID. But there's a lot to be learned from what you did and how you did it, and somebody had to be, a boss, and you was a true boss. That was it. Like it wasn't intimidating if you knew the life. You respected it. People go, "Oh, Unique is crazy." No, he's not. He's just a regular guy. He's gonna. If you really listen to what he says, he's telling you how he really feels. Like, what more can you ask?
You know what I mean? That's what a lot of people, was intimidated about, because they're not used to somebody saying, "Yo, dude, if I shot you in the face right now, would I be wrong? Can I get my money?
Yeah.
Can I get my money? I mean, dog, come on, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because right now you shoot me in the face without giving me my money, man.
Yeah.
So don't let me take it to my extreme. Please give me my money. I'm gonna tell them, please give me my money.
Hey, do you remember? I remember we went to. We didn't go together, but I saw you in the movies. We used to go to the movies on 86th Street and Broadway.
Yeah, you already know. In the movie theaters, got quite a few
over there. Yeah. Yep. And I remember like twice. I think I seen you. I was with my wife. I was married, and you was in there with your lady friend, whoever it was, and and I was like, oh, there go Neek. I said, okay, so I'm not the only one coming over here to 86th Street. You trying to stay out the way, It might have been 96th Street in Broadway.
Yeah, it was 96, I think. Yeah,
96. Yeah,
right around there. I know what you're talking about. 96, 80. I know we're talking about up on Broadway. The only movie theater that was over there on the uptown side, like you're coming back uptown.
Yeah,
I don't know exactly what street. I mean, I done been all over the world.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, but yeah, that was definitely a good time though. But let me see. Where I'm going. I know you hosted many different parties for shows, right? But what's the difference with a back in the day party and a now party? I know you still into the parties. I see you on Instagram doing your thing.
People used to dance. People used to dance. They don't dance no more.
Get out of here.
They don't dance no more, Unique. They stand around. They be on their phone. They smoke the hookah, and
phone in a party,
right? And they look at each other, and it's not until something old school come on that they dance. Harlem, it could be a little different because they got the whole shake, the Harlem shake, and all of that thing that they do. But the rest of the city, nah, they just really sit around, and it's like a vibe. That's what they say, and so, and that's it. But we used to dance. I mean, the dance floor would be jam packed in the parties in our era. That's where DJs like Red and SNS and Kid Capri and Ron G, they made their name because they could get the floor jam packed and
jumping.
Yeah, all night long. People dance, they sweat. You that's why the bar did well. People were drinking, that was the whole idea. Don't get the party too crazy. In fact, that's probably why you stopped the party every once in a while so people could go to the bar. That's what you was up to. Because if they danced all night, they didn't drink.
Exactly. So I stopped the music, do a little talking. I'm telling them, yo, go pop a couple of bottles. Yo, bring me a couple of bottles. Yo, everybody, bring around for bottles. Who ain't drinking? Why you ain't at the bar? You ain't smoking. Where the weed at? Yo, somebody roll up and get the party started. And then when everybody start walking to the bar, getting their weed and everything, then I'll be like, yo, Red, you ready? All right, let's drop some rock up. Let's have some Jamaican music. And we drop what we do. You know what I mean? Come on, man. You got, just like a jail that I was in, every Wednesday they locked down after lunch, like from 12 o'clock to 5 o'clock. You know what I mean? But this jail was real deady and bloodly. You know what I mean? But only time they locked down was, for no reason. They said they was cutting the grass. It was their excuse to get us in the cell.
Yes.
That little 5 hours of lockdown got a chance to calm down what happened for the other 6 days.
Yes, sir.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
so
sir.
sometimes when you're there and the dude dance with a girl too long, and it might be his girl, and he feel like, damn, why is she up on Unique for 10 minutes? And she see me standing here.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the DJ still rocking and rocking. He's like, man, I know she ain't playing me. And I know Unique ain't trying to play me. He know that's my girl. I don't even know. But all this is going through his mind.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now I look around, I see certain faces a little too tight. You know what I mean? I'm gonna stop the music and get them going. Yo, son, what up? You ready? Come on, get the bottle going. And keep them moving and take them out of it. But now his girl stopped dancing to talk to whoever. So now that moment is broken with them getting their groove in. You know what I mean? So now she can walk away and save everybody from getting killed.
Exactly.
You know, the way you might pull out, just flat blast everything in the club over that. You know what I mean?
Hey, look, there were women, for those who weren't there were women that would have champagne glasses in their bags and would pull up on cats who was popping bottles, because this is before, you know, we was putting it to the head. Like, well, actually, even putting bottles to the head, that might have started at Club 2002.
Yeah, I mean, so, what up, family?
But, you know, people did have glasses back then. You know, you might pause, but everybody. And so the girls would come up and go, no, I'm good, and pull a glass right out of their bag. It hit me. I'd be like, you had your own glass?
Yeah. You know what I mean? You know, man, she ain't want to miss a drop. If you got a bottle on the sidewalk, she got her own glass. But you know me, I'm tipping mine. You know, yeah, that's crazy. You know, hey, so my thing, how did you get into hip hop? You know, to the whole thing. You know, like I want to know your mind frame, how you got into the video music box to put together the coming to the parties, the club. You know what I
mean? Well, like I said, I was a DJ first. So, you know, I was DJing and just getting a DJ fee. And after a while, I was like, I want to get more of the action, because I'm the one who's bringing these people to the party. You know, I need to get more. And, you know, most promoters was like, nah. And so I said, I got to start doing my own parties. And I started doing my own parties, and, you know, and hooked up with a promoter I could work with that I trusted. And we start splitting the money. So now, instead of getting, you know, whatever it was getting back then, $200, now we splitting, you know, back then, you know, $10,000. And that was a lot of money back then. And so that felt a lot better than the $200 that I was getting, that $5,000 that I was taking home in my pocket. So once I did that, I started to look at things different. And I always was an entrepreneur. I always wanted to kind of run my own thing. And I said, okay, let's create a TV show based upon what was happening with music, because there was nowhere to see these videos back then. And once I got that idea in my head and we could get these videos out there, now we could change the game. Did I know it was going to be the whole city was on this show like that? Because we didn't have no promotion, but there was nowhere to see these things. So once I started doing it, the whole city started watching Video Music Box like it was crazy. And when I started doing it, I said, yeah, I didn't think it was going to be this big. I remember coming home. I was in Brooklyn. I was this is when I lived in Flatbush. I lived by the junction, Avenue H. And I was coming home. No, I was going to the city. And I got on the train, and about, I don't know, 2 stops in, like 6 dudes get on, and I'm in the last train, the last car. And they looking at me, I'm looking at them, and they mean mugging, like they ready to do something, you know? So I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, how are we going to play this off, Ralph? You know, like, you know, I'm not going to be able to take all of these dudes out. You know, I'm on my way to work. You know, I'm like, so I could get off at the next stop, but damn, I don't want to feel like I'm a punk ass nigga get off at the next stop.
You know?
They're going to know. So I walked, you know, I said, no, I'm going to ride it out. Let's see what happens, you know? And, you know, because it was the first stop. The junction is the first stop. So more people are getting on. So I said, they're not going to do nothing. There's too many people on the train. So by the time I got to Brooklyn Bridge, one of the dudes goes, yo, man, yo, you the dude that does the video show? And I said, yeah. And yo, we like that shit, man. Yo, keep doing that shit, son. And I was like, God damn, man, why you ain't say that shit 10 stops ago, man?
Yeah, you know what I mean? I could have not doodled on myself.
Hey, for real, man. You know, look. Hey, look. You know, you get on that train, anything can happen on that train, bro. And you know, I done seen it happen. I done seen all kinds of stuff go down, you know, and then even in the clubs, you know, in Queens, you know, Queens Queens cats is quiet, but it happens. It goes down, you know. And
tell me about a party in Queens. Tell me about a good story about a party in Queens where something popped off and ended the party. You know, like somebody whatever, shooting on the party, whatever.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, Encore, you know, when it first started out was, you know, it was supposed to be like the upscale spot, da 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 da. Now I told you, this time started to change when when the crack era starts to come in,
Yeah.
So, every Tuesday was ladies' night, and that was my main night, 'cause I had a piece of the action on that night. So, all of them was up in their whole South Side, and it would be like one whole side of the club was South Side, and all of the bottles was on that side. And cats will come in and they don't know. This is the beginning of, that whole movement on over there. This is the beginning of cat and all of that, And now cats is coming in and they don't know how powerful and how important those cats are to that area. And they might be dancing with somebody's girl or bump into somebody, and it could turn into a whole different ball game. And that Tuesday night was usually when it did. And they would feel like, because these guys were young, so they were really wanted to flex and let people know that we are who we are. And so you get caught on the wrong side of the room over there dancing with somebody's girl or talking or saying something slick, and you be laid out. And they didn't give a damn. They would clear the party out. I've been in shootouts in Encore and all kinds of stuff where I'm hiding, ducking down in the DJ booth, and the shooter's right behind me shooting at somebody else on the other side of the room. So all of these things were happening, and this is in quiet Queens. Everybody think Queens is quiet, but there was a lot of money moving on that side, and I respect my neighborhoods, man. I respect Flatbush, I respect Queens, I respect all the neighborhoods that I grew up in, because that taught me a lot about life and how to move, and I respect the people that I met along the way, most of them, because I learned from them, and you are a person that I learned from as well. Watching you do what you do, man. Because you made sure that everybody was happy. The hardest thing in business is to manage personalities. That's the hardest part, because
Tell them
you got
again.
a hothead on this side, because there's always somebody hotter than you, but you can't let them know that.
Yeah. No, but get to finish. But somebody wanted to ask you, what was your first camera and what did it cost?
Wow. Well, most of the cameras in the beginning were Sony broadcast cameras. The ones we used for video music box in the beginning, those were like I didn't own those cameras. Those were from the station. Later on, we started getting our own cameras, and back then, $10,000 was a lot of money. Now you can buy the same kind of camera for a couple $100 because the technology changed. But back then, like some of the early videos that we did Roxanne Shantae's video for Roxanne's Revenge, and that was for a label called Pop Art Records, which was Notorious cats from Philly. They were out of Philly. And they were I didn't know when I first started dealing, because I just dealt with them through the music business. But as time went on, I was like, their name rang off, heavy. In fact, they bought me a video to do by a guy named Cool C, and he had a record called A Glamorous Life, and Cool C is on death row for murder.
Yeah, on Cali, isn't he?
Yeah. So we did a lot of stuff for cats out of Philly. Like there was a tight connection between New York and Philly and DC. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if it's
a big shout out.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we always going to Philly, or we were going to DC, Baltimore area. And my father lived in Baltimore, so I went down there a lot. And so then we connected with other artists, and then we started doing all of the Cold Chillin' record stuff. So Kane and Biz and G-Rap and all of those artists, and later we did Belle Biv DeVoe, all of that, Poison and all of that, and then Michael Bivins came and gave us Boys to Men, and TLC came along, and we did all of TLC's videos and Keith Sweat's videos, and all of this was going on at the same time I'm doing Video Music Box. So that's why I had a lot of the hot stuff on my show, because we just made it. Then I would play it on my show. A lot of people didn't know. How did he get that? Like, I didn't even know there was a video for that.
Yeah.
And but that was the good connection that I knew that was from me back in the days when I used to be on the back of the bus with the new music, you always had to come with something new. It had to be something new that people didn't know, or you made up something that people didn't know, and it sounded good, and everybody joined in. And that was the key to entertaining people and keeping it new and keeping it fresh, so that people would be like, yo, I got to go check for them and see what they're doing. And that, to me, you orchestrated that in Club 2000 every week, because you knew you had to have a better artist than you had the week before. You were like, bro, I got to have somebody. We just had whoever, Nas. That was cool, but I got to have somebody else now. I got to have somebody bigger. And that was the key to making it happen. You know, so it's you know, for people that are out there that are watching, you know, you do your thing. You know, everybody doesn't necessarily be in the spotlight. There are some of us that are fine to be laid in the cut, you know, and be behind the scenes, you know, because there comes a lot with being in the front sometimes, you know. And if you're not built like that, you might not want to do that. And some people are not here anymore because they wasn't ready for that, you know, and they just are gone, you know. But they liked the idea of being in the front, but they didn't know what came along with it. And that's when it goes back to respect in the streets. If you respect the
Okay, Big Ralph having a little buffering problem. So until he come back in, let me get my big bro out. But like I said, man, we just riding, you know what I mean? We going back trying to let y'all know what it's like back then, to give y'all a little history firsthand. And as you see, you know, being that I lived that life with him at that time, we could pivot off of each other and, you know, bounce back and forth. And it's easy to go on and on, you know. But I remember going to Disco Fever, and one of the first times I remember seeing what we call rap stars then was I'm standing out front. I got my big 9mm on me, and then here come a big limousine pull up, big old white limousine pull up, you know. And we didn't take limousines then. I'm keeping it 100. Y'all from back in the days, you already know we had Touch of Class, or we had KI2 in the Bronx. Still remember the number, KI2222. So we called it KI2. That was the cab service. You know what I mean? So, you know, we had to join, and we do what we do with KI2. And I'm sitting out front of the joint, and a big limousine come up. So I'm like, who's pulling up in a limousine? Now I'm talking about this 1 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? I see these 5 guys jump out with leather suits on. You know what I mean? Black leather suit with Indian frills coming down the side, and cowboy boots with spurs and all this crazy stuff. You know what I mean? And I'm looking at it, I'm wondering, like, who? I knew who it was, but I'm like, who wears that? You know what I mean? Because at that time we had the Triple Goose bombers. The long joints go down to your ankle. We used to go down there and get them from 14th Street from Paragons. That was the only place you got them back then, from down to Paragon. Those are the long official ski joints, because Delancey Street, Orchard Street, stuff like that, they just had regular bombers, goose downs, and things like that. You know what I mean? So you know, I was just telling him about the bombers. You know, I kept the joint rocking until you came back as a professional, son.
You nice, you nice with it.
Come on, son, I'm fly with it. I'm not just nice with it. You know what I mean? But I'm riding. Look, so I'm telling him about the bombers that the first time gave one in the store. When I first time I seen a star in front of Disco Fever. You know what I mean? I'm gonna speed it up to catch you up so I can get one from you. So I'm sitting outside. I got my big Magnum with me. You know, 357. I'm a little skinny boy, about 118 pounds. You know what I mean? Had to short the clip. We ain't gonna get in all that. You know what I mean? But anyway, so now here come big white limousine pull up. So I'm looking at limousine like, man, who pull up in a limousine? Because you remember back in the days, all we had was 98s, Cadillacs, the OJs. Yeah. You know what I mean? We didn't use limousines back then.
OJs, yeah.
We was in OJs, get an OJ for an hour, 2 hours, or whatever you wanted. And that was the limousine. So we didn't have limousines back then. But I'm telling you, I'm sitting out front. So when they come with a big limousine, I'm looking like, hold up, man, you know, like what's coming out of here? Maybe it might be a good night to rob something. You know what I mean? I wonder who put it up in here in a limousine. But we had the Disco Fever over there on Jerome and Webster.
Yeah.
I mean, Jerome and coming down from the hill. Up the hill was up the hill. I'm gonna ask you about that too, the hilltop. But anyway, so I'm sitting there joint and Flash in it, and them jump out, and they all got on leather suits with the frills, the Indian frills, all red leather suit, all white, all black, all beige. They got on the cowboy hats. They got on the cowboy boots. They just came out from California. They turned them out into all of that stuff from wearing what we wear. But, you know, back then, that's when I was telling them that we had the long bombers from Paragons. You know, the long
Oh yeah, Paragon.
hustle coats that came with the feathers, the goose down, but it went down to your ankle. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You remember them joints?
Yes.
Goose, I'm talking about the what they call like the London fog joint, go all the way down.
Yeah,
but,
all the way down.
Yeah. With one of them, and they pull up with all this Indian stuff and boots and spurs, and I'm like, so I said, let me go ahead and see what they're, because I knew who it was, but I'm wondering this new them coming back. You know what I mean? I remember when they was wearing jeans and slacks. Now they wearing the Indian suits tight as a motherfucker.
Right. It was like Rick James.
Yeah. So they run in and they go straight upstairs, but I go downstairs because you know downstairs they had another bar and dance floor. Remember that dance floor? When you first come in the Fever to the right, they got another little dance floor. Then upstairs, then they got the joint in the back. But I go up there, they go straight in the back. You know what I mean? So that was the first time I went back there. So when I go back there, I see everybody with pipes up, you know, like Little Kim, throw your lighters up type joint. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like you said, dudes looking at you. If you back there too long and you don't cop your own pipe, and the Disco Fever used to rent crack pipes.
Wow.
But it was freebase pipes. You used to go back there and you could get a pipe and a torch.
Wow.
You know what I mean? For $5 a piece, you get a pipe and a torch, you get it for like 15, 20 minutes. Then they walk around saying, your time is up, give me another $10. And that's how they got their money. Because then they had the 404 Club that Willie had up there on 45th. I give you the game all day, you know what I mean? Mark IV, you know what I mean? The Ponderosa, the Banana, come on, dog. You know what I mean? When they had the Zodiac, before the SNS, I'm talking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but see, anyway, I was going by that time. I wasn't going. That was after hours.
Yeah, you already know. Those are all after hours that didn't have no exits. You know what I mean? But
and the after hours would go from, you would go in one side and you could go to a whole nother side of the street and come out on the other side of the block. Crazy.
Yeah, they definitely don't know nothing about it. Hey, somebody wanted to ask you, when did you start seeing money from Video Music Box? Because, you know, no business start making money right away. So they want to know when, you know?
It wasn't until maybe 87, 88 that, you know, we really, it really wasn't even from Video Music Box. It was from us doing videos, doing people's artist videos. I mean, we were getting money, you know, cash, you know, in the streets from the parties and stuff like that. But that wasn't until about that time. And then 89, you know, you making money cash that you can just spend. And then the other stuff, you know, you doing whatever you need to do with that, you know, that you're getting from the record company. Because then I realized that, you know, the record companies really needed me, you know, and so then I started charging the record company.
You know what I mean? Because I was telling them something I was talking about. I was letting them know that, because I always speak about the DJs. I love the DJs. Like I said, the DJs make me feel good. That's who play the music. You know what I mean? The rapper can't do nothing without the beat. You know what I mean? So I like the man that make the beat. You know, that's just me, and the man that keep the beat moving. But I was telling them about how the music and the DJing back in the days. I done forgot what I was gonna say, man. Don't slip my damn mind.
Well,
I'm talking about the DJ.
Well, you know what's funny about that era is that's the same era of the mixtape DJs, and the Ron G's and the Brucey B's. And Love Starsky. And that's where Bad Boy gets their sound from. That's where Bad Boy gets their sound, because Puff is in those spots listening to those DJs play and mix records in a certain way, R&B records, and that's where Puff gets the sound. The whole idea of the
when he went and got with all that Barry Gordy stuff. Remember when he went to that whole catalog?
Yeah. So that's when he knew, you know, like he knew that was, you know, the sound. He Bad Boy was basically what he heard in the streets in Club 2000 or wherever it was. He heard those sounds, you know, and he knew that he could keep it. He could stay uptown with it, like, you know, the DJs did. But he said, "No, I got to go downtown because that's where I'm going to get paid at." And he took it downtown. Exactly. Yeah.
But, you know, I'm glad an old pioneer like you here to let them know what time it is. Because like I said, I don't like to toot my horn, so I bring on men of honor that people respect their word. Like you in hip hop, they respect your word. You know what I mean? That's why they call you Uncle Ralph. Yeah.
That, you know, Red Alert called me. He was the first person to make up that name.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know, Red. One of my first DJs too. You remember Red Alert? You been there?
Look, you know? I'm not going. I told Red that I was going to be seeing you. And he said, "Oh boy."
I know I read this too, because Ray used to be like, boy, you gonna get killed, boy. You gonna go to You always told you need to slow down. I said, man, either way, I'm gonna meet it head on, dog. You know, I said,
all he said was, oh boy.
14th Street and 7th Avenue. Yeah, I go all the way back with Red Alert too. You know, I'm gonna bring him up here. We're gonna reminisce with Red for a minute. You know, but it definitely got me laughing with that Red, man. You know?
Yeah. Red, you know, was always, you know, he knows that club scene, you know, better than anybody else in that era.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Red, I remember when he was a little kid with the red hair, DJing with Jazzy J. The last party I seen him at, to be honest, was up at Audubon Ballroom when they had that big DJ battle right before they left.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And they had Theodore Bambaataa, they had all of them up in there. That's the last time I seen him playing. And he had that that record that looked like a candy cane.
Oh yes, you're so right for me. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's
and matched them with his crazy color here. That's how I always remember them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, well, you know what? You know, Unique. When you went away, it was like, you know, like I didn't know what happened, and I think about this now, and it was like, okay, what happened? You know, like, you know, you because it could have been anything. It could have been he got locked up, he's dead. You know what happened? You know, because it wasn't like anybody was talking about that, you know, at first. Then later on, we learned that this is what had happened, or this is what we think happened anyway. And a lot of people wanted to relive that idea of Club 2000 over the years. And I always felt like it can't happen without Unique being part of it. You know, like I know you guys, you know, and these were guys that were there part of it, you know, you want to do this, but it can't happen. Like certain things can't happen. Like it's like Jordan, you know, and I'm not trying to be toot your horn or nothing like that, but it's like Jordan knew what to do, you know, and you knew what to do. Everybody doesn't know what to do. They think they know what to do, but you knew what to do and how to move when it needed to be. If it needed to be moved hard, then we got to move hard right now. If we need to just be cool and lay back, then we're gonna do that right now. And that's a gift that everybody doesn't have, you know, like that's just something that people just, you know, that's just a natural thing. That I don't know where you got that from, but you know, that's something special. Yeah.
I got that from my grandpa Garvey. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
My grandfather when I was in Jamaica. That's one of the things that he beat in my head from I was a child. Yeah. You know, he said, you know, my grandmother used to bake cakes. And, you know, when the cake get hot, come out the oven, all the little rats come running, the mice. We're in Jamaica. You know what I mean? They come running in the kitchen. You know, we had a little house outside where the mice run in. So while the mice running in the kitchen, I used to always come tell my grandpa, man, get the mice in the kitchen. I was scared of them. I was scared of them. You know, as a kid, seeing them running around. And he'll be like, I'll be like, go kill him, Grandpa, go kill him. And he's like, I said, no, go get him. And he said, no, if you want me to kill him, I'll go kill him. But I was a kid, so I'm like, no, I don't want you to kill him. And he was like, well, don't let me corner him because then I'm going to have to kill him because he's going to have to fight to get out that corner. So unless you want me to kill him, push back and leave him alone. You know what I mean? And I took that into my adulthood that when dealing with people, if you ain't planning on killing them, you know what I mean? Leave them alone. If you feel that you'll wind up killing them because they too much like Unique, and the two ain't gonna get along, you know what I mean? Then you need to do it to survive. You know what I'm saying? But at times, you know, I learned to just push back and be like, yo, let me get away from that, because I ain't trying to, you know what I mean? You know when you're there, but I know where I would go.
Yeah. And if people saw you were upset about something, everybody wanted to go. Not even you do it. They wanted to do it. You know, and that was and that's could be scary sometimes because you know how far that could go.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And that was my whole thing. Everybody wanted to, you know what I mean, to ride for the king. You know what I mean? And things that I didn't take serious, you know, or as disrespect, they took it and then they like, I want to get brownie points, so let me this. And that's where a lot of the problems came in. I told them, dog, I don't need your help, man. You know what I mean? I don't need, you know, if I need your help, I will let you do. But until then, I don't need you to feel like I need this done, because if I need it done, I want and I must do it myself, or else I can't sleep knowing that someone else did it for me.
That's right. That's
My
right.
grandfather would never rest in peace. We always say to handle your own business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Somebody, and that's somebody just asked us a question up here about Cream.
There you go. That's why I got it on the screen.
Oh, okay. I directed Cream for Wu-Tang. And the reason why, it goes back to, you know, friendship, just like yourself. If I met RZA when he was making, you know, like funny music, he wasn't pop type of music, you know, it wasn't really like what he did when he started putting 5% music out. You know, it was different. You know, it wasn't the same. And when he came to me with the Wu-Tang Clan, he came with me, Protect Your Neck. It wasn't signed to no label or nothing. It wasn't signed to Loud Records or anything. And he said, can you show me the video? And I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like, how you gonna make money? Like, there's so many artists here, you know, like on this record. And he was like, yo, you know, well, we're gonna figure it out, right? So he said, can you play the video? And I said, yeah. So I started playing the video, and the video just rang off. You know, it was cats on the corner. It was the corner cats that related to Wu-Tang, you know. And it wasn't even, to me, like Uptown. Uptown was last to get what Wu-Tang was about. It was Brooklyn and Staten Island and the Bronx and areas like that were getting it, because Wu-Tang was, you know, first of all, they was 5%ers, and not everybody was with that. You know, not everybody wanted to hear about that right there, you know. And
at that time,
yeah.
Because before that, that's all they wanted.
Yeah.
Remember when that Black Power movement with Public Enemy?
Right.
You know,
right.
You know?
We got moved away from that for a second.
Yeah, okay.
And that's
what we want them to know the history is all.
Yes. No, absolutely. And that was and we needed, you know, consciousness, but Wu-Tang was consciousness and street, you know, all wrapped up in one, coming from a place in Staten Island where nobody even knew what was going on in Staten Island. You know, Staten Island was where cats went to hide out.
Yeah, we didn't even know it was a part of the borough. We didn't call it considered part of the borough.
Yeah, if you had some problems, I met so many people that I thought, you know, was dead in Staten Island. They was just hiding out. They were, because nobody went looking for them over there in Staten Island. And so once I started to know and understand what Staten Island was all about, and then, you know, building with RZA, and then RZA came to me after they had gotten their deal and said, yo, man, you know, you did good with me, Ralph, man. I want you to direct the Cream video. And that just shows you how, you know, kind of person RZA was, that he came back to me, because he didn't have to, you know, he could have did whatever. You know, he could have went and looked for Martin Scorsese or somebody and shit.
One of the big names that, you know, they're all bigger names.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he came to me and he said, I want you to direct it. As soon as he played me the song, I was like, yo, I had it all pictured in my head, you know, and I wanted to take Wu-Tang.
So you did that?
Yeah, I wanted to take Wu-Tang outside of Staten Island, because all the videos before that were all shot in Staten Island. I wanted to take Wu-Tang and show them, and I specifically wanted to impress Harlem. So we took them up and shot them right across the street, you know, shot the video scenes in Harlem and Times Square. And so that people uptown would go like, yo, they was uptown, Wu-Tang is uptown. And they would get the vibe of what Wu-Tang was all about. And I just recently told that story to Raekwon, and he was like, right, I didn't think about this. He said, you had a plan. I said, yeah, because I felt like Wu-Tang wasn't respected at the time yet in all the boroughs. And I wanted to expose y'all and show y'all that y'all were moving around everywhere. Y'all, that Wu-Tang was everywhere, you know, and that they were, you know, because Harlem and Brooklyn is different, you know, and you know, everybody goes, oh, Brooklyn niggas is crazy. And, you know, and then Harlem is smooth. They about their bread, you know, and then the Bronx is crazy like Brooklyn, you know, and then Queens is smooth. You know, it's everybody had their characteristics. I don't know if it's like that now, but every borough have their characteristics in your head. And, you know, and you want to impress each other. You want each other to say like, oh, okay, you know, I see what y'all doing over there, Brooklyn. Oh, I see, oh, Uptown, I see what's going on now. I see what y'all doing tonight. You know, that was a way to impress each other. And it was like, you know, some competition in the street. Yeah, it could be like that. But on just a regular day, you wanted to let people know that where you was repping from. That's why Brooklyn was in Club 2000 and Queens was in Club 2000. And all you had to do was say Queens in here or Brooklyn's in here, and everybody would be like, oh, you know, everybody wanted to represent their area. That's what's always been about New York. And that's what made New York so good at what it did. you know, is that we all were competing necessarily against ourselves, and we wanted to make sure that we got respect. And then when you took it to other places, that energy sometimes was a little bit much. People got scared of that New York energy.
Yeah, you already know. Hey, so somebody was asking about when did you meet DJ Vid Kid?
Oh, the Vid Kid. Yeah, we grew up together. Like, my father used to have a store. Like, my father got fired. He worked for the government, right? And I remember one day he got fired, and he came home, and he was like, it was a big deal. You know, you had a regular job, and then he got fired, and he said he's going to start his own business, and he opened up a candy store, and so he used to sell, like, candy, cigarettes. Back then, people used to buy newspapers, and I used to put the newspapers together, like, on Sundays, and everybody would come and buy the Sunday paper because it had all the big. It was big, you paid whatever it was back then. And Lionel, the Vid Kid, used to come and get the paper for his father early in the morning, and that's how we became friends. And then we started buying records together. We started a little DJ crew, and we used to go buy records and equipment. And then eventually, when Video Music Box came about, I said to Lionel, I said, yo, I'm doing this thing with the videos, and I think you might like this. It's just like DJing. And Lionel got the bug. And to me, Lionel's one of the greatest directors of all time, with the music videos, the amount of hits that Lionel did, and then taught guys like Hype Williams and others that came from our camp to be great directors, So he was the blueprint for a lot of what you see now in music video directions. Hey, Unique, I gotta eat. My wife is mad at me right now. She said the food is on the table. Hold up, I can't hear you. You muted?
Yeah. I was muted. All right, so we're gonna let Ralph get ready to go, man. Hey, Ralph, I appreciate you, man. Hey, we could go on all day because there's so much history between the two of us, man.
Well,
I do this again, man. I really enjoyed this, and I'm sure Dave Dicker, we up to like 300-400 easy right now. You know what I mean?
Nice. Well, yeah, I'm glad that people are checking it out. And it's funny because when I was going to get on, or somebody said to me, you know Unique, and I was like, yeah, and it was like they couldn't see us knowing each other.
Get out of here. Yeah.
I was like, man, look, this is the era, we all connected, and if you was real with it, it wasn't nothing, and this is a brother that I always tell. And even when you would call people sometimes, and I think I might have mentioned to you this before, you would call people and then they would double back around and ask me, yo, what's up with Unique, man? What's up with this dude? Cause the way he talk, like he really got it going. I said, well, what did he say? And they would tell me I said, yeah, he can do that. He's going to do that. Whatever he said, he's going to do. Yeah. Whatever he said he's going to do. Yeah. You said you want 20 stacks. He's going to have that for you. In fact, he might give it to you in advance, and you going to show up. And I know you're going to show up because when you see him do that, you're going to go, okay, we going to Club 2000.
You already know. Hey, Ralph, man, it was beautiful having you, man. I mean, we got to do this again, man, because, I mean, I got so much more. I mean, we got history for days with this, man. And, they really enjoyed it. I'm going to send you the link later and let you see how these numbers going to jump up crazy. You see the comments is all positive. They all got mad questions. I try to put up what I can instead of just having you talk about me. But, we were just reminiscing, man, so that they learned the error, because I had an error. So they understand. You know what I'm saying, Ralph? I had an error. I started the era. I started hip hop in the early part. I created that. I pushed it forward.
Yes,
you know what I mean? I was pushing it with Club 2000 and Mecca Audio. Yeah. You know what I mean? We made
next time we show them a couple of little something of the video from the club.
All right, that's what we're gonna do. Because we got footage and all that. Everything I'm telling you, the people we name, we got footage of all that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just so you know.
Yeah. And Unique, I have the Video Music Box collection is a nonprofit I started, and this. I told you that I'm making sure that we digitize and preserve this history, and some of these tapes are stuff that I already just digitized and I gave to you because I wanted to make sure, first of all, because you paid for it, and I wanted to make sure that you know, it's done in the right way and curated or whatever they call it and edited and done properly, because you're the only person that can tell that story the right way. Nobody else can cut and edit things like that without you being there and you telling the story. So I appreciate you, man, and I'm thankful that you brought me on, man, and I look forward to you know, more of that content, because that content is maybe seen once or twice in a lifetime, and so a lot of people don't know nothing. This is rare stuff from New York City. Yeah.
You know, this is what I created in New York. So when I talk and say that I'm that shit, you know, I got video proof of that I'm going to drop in due time.
Yes,
you know
sir.
what I mean? So just relax. We're going to get it together. We editing the Alpo video. We trying to get it to you. I don't know what they've been doing because I've been on here. So I ain't got to keep pressing them where it's at. You know what I mean? But tell them about the Queens Library, the museum.
Oh yeah, we do the Queens Library. All my people out in Queens. Well, the libraries are closed, but we do the virtual programs online. Today I had my brother Lance Furtado. You know, me and Lance went to high school together, and so my brother Lance, he's gonna have you know, he does the King of Kings Foundation, so he's gonna have a turkey giveaway coming up for the holidays and things like that. So we were just discussing things like that we've been doing, you know, and you know, they've been happening in the community. You used to do the giveaways and all of that kind of stuff, and you know, and people love that, you know, and especially with now in tough times, we trying to reach out to people that, you know, really could use it. And so that's what we're doing, you know, nothing different, you know, we just making sure that, you know, it's done properly, like you say, and it's, you know, it's done in the right way. And we show, you know, some of the young bucks, you know, because there's some new wolves out there that we want to just show them, you know, you can balance it out. And I think that's cool.
And that's all I'm trying to tell them, man. It ain't worth it. Don't even get involved in it because these people are not playing, man. All the laws they made is to put you away forever, man. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to tell you, it's not worth it. You know what I mean? All that flyness, I lived it because that was then. I ain't gonna say it because I don't want to get the nitpicking people. You know what I mean? I made the choice. I did it, and that's why when I got caught, I made the choice to be a man and honor my word that I gave to my comrades when I decided to hustle with them. You know what I mean? And that's that. You know what I mean? And that's just me. You know. But man, I appreciate you, Ralph. You know what I mean? Resend that joint. I'm gonna text you another email because that email might be full. Because somebody else sent me something, I didn't get it. So I'm gonna text you.
Okay, no problem.
All right, homie?
Yes, sir. Thank you, man.
All right, thank you, man. All right. So that was Big Brother Ralph, man. You know, I ain't gonna be on here long, man. I got stories for days. You know what I mean? You know, I know a lot of y'all had questions for Ralph. I promise you I will bring him back. That was the first time I seen Ralph. You know what I mean? Since 1993, was right here on this video. So we haven't talked after that. And this is 26 years later. So what he was really doing was expressing, you know, the impact that I had on his life and how I helped his growth into the man that he is today, and how I helped hip hop into what hip hop is today. And that's Uncle Ralph. That's why I have brought him up there. Because if I told you, yeah, I did this, I did that, you know what I mean? Like I said, the hip hop parade, Naughty by Nature made, you heard Big Uncle up here, everybody knows this, you know what I mean? So, I mean, you know, I'm just waiting for my lawyers and stuff to holler at Tretch. You know, we're going to work something amicable out, like me and Dougie Fresh work something amicable. It's 2020. I mean, we all black and we trying to make it over here. But like I said, man, we going on. I appreciate y'all. What time is it? It's already too late. I was going to drop that other joint. But y'all going to enjoy this and the other one from earlier, man. I'm out. I'm going to drop the other joint tomorrow. Another piece of the Alpo joint that we did, that we edited, so that y'all get that tomorrow. I want to thank y'all, man, for coming, you know, and go to Unique Mecca Audio and Unique Mecca Audio TV and sign up. All right. We're trying to bring the weight up so that we can show this over there and have like the hip hop and the street stuff over there. But you know, the gangsters that I interview were ex-gangsters, and you know, that type of thing on this page, so that you know what you come here for and what you came for. All right. Just to let y'all know, thank y'all. That's what I'm trying to do. So go to Unique Mecca Audio TV and subscribe over there. Pick the weight up. You know what I mean? And we're going to put some of these videos over there. Like I put an Alpo video over there earlier today. So y'all go check that out. Make sure y'all sign up, man. And like I said again, what's that? Instagram, Unique Mecca Audio at Instagram, and a Roy Harlem at Instagram. All right? So we have both of those. And Mecca Audio Entertainment. All right? Mecca Audio Entertainment. And we getting ready to do the Unique Mecca Audio at .com, and MeccaAudioEntertainment.com already set up. That's where you get the merch at. You know what I mean? Let me jump up out of here, man. I really appreciate it, y'all, man. God bless you. All right.